Hey guys, how are you? Welcome, it's Michael from Melbourne Acupuncture Centre, and today what I want to do is just spend a few minutes discussing some of the scientific evidence behind acupuncture. So a lot of people think that acupuncture has no scientific evidence, but actually there's quite a lot of research that's taken place over the last number of years into acupuncture. So I'm just going to walk off some bullet points and just go through some of the studies, some of the meta-studies that are into acupuncture, and some of the scientific explanations behind exactly what acupuncture is. Okay, so at present there are over 8,000 studies into acupuncture. So that means there's more scientific research into acupuncture than there is into physiotherapy and chiropractic combined. So over 8,000 studies. And the growth of acupuncture research is double the rest of biomedicine. So all other forms of biomedicine, including the physical therapies, acupuncture research is growing at double that rate. So a lot of the information that I'm going to use is from a meta-study by MacDonald and Jantz, and they're two Australian acupuncturists who spent many years and a lot of hours compiling research from all of the studies from all around the world into acupuncture. So a big thank you to those guys for that information. So based on their research, there is strong evidence of acupuncture effectiveness for 8 separate conditions. There's moderate evidence for effectiveness for 38 separate conditions. Now, a previous report indicated there was strong evidence only for 3 conditions. So now it's 8 conditions. So as the quality and quantity of research increases, so the actual strong evidence for acupuncture also increases. So those conditions for which there's strong evidence is headache, low back pain, knee and osteoarthritis, allergic rhinitis, chemotherapy-induced nausea and vomiting, post-operative nausea and vomiting, and post-operative pain. So they're the conditions, the 8 conditions for which there is strong evidence. There are 38 other conditions for which there is moderate evidence. So in the European Journal of Integrative Medicine, there are over 1,000 recommendations for over 100 conditions from multiple international groups and over 30 countries, all indicating acupuncture as a form of treatment. Andrew J. Vickers conducted a meta-analysis which was published in 2012, and that included almost 18,000 patients in 29 high-quality randomized controlled trials, and they found statistically significant differences between both acupuncture versus sham acupuncture and acupuncture versus no acupuncture control for all pain types. So that study basically said there was 30% of patients had a reduction with no acupuncture, a reduction in their pain. 5% of patients had a reduction in pain with sham acupuncture, and 50% of patients had a reduction in pain with actual acupuncture. So that is quite a significant difference. In the USA, there was a 2-year retroactive study of 89,000 patients conducted by the American Specialty Health Incorporated, and that indicated that 93% of respondents said that acupuncture was effective in treating their primary condition. So that says that the actual on the ground people actually receiving acupuncture treatment, the positivity factor is way up. So there's also a network meta-analysis comparing different treatments for sciatica, and acupuncture comes in second behind biological agents, and biological agents being specific biological medicines and pharmaceuticals which are used to treat sciatica. So acupuncture comes in second to that, and ahead of other treatments including manipulation, surgery, intraoperative interventions and non-opioids. So when an acupuncture needle is inserted into a point, the needle stimulates the sensory nerves. Now it's very important that we stipulate it works on the sensory nerves, not the actual motor nerves. And we know this because the acupuncture effect goes away if we block the sensory nerves. So the acupuncture doesn't have an effect when we block the sensory nerves. So according to Dr. John Longhurst, who conducted a large number of studies, and there was over 40 of those studies in total, showing that electro and manual acupuncture applied at specific acupuncture points lowered short-term elevations by about 50% and long-term elevations in blood pressure through stimulation of sensory nerve fibers underlying the acupuncture points. Now, unlike pain, pain is subjective, but this is not subjective. This is a measurable outcome. You can measure blood pressure. Pain is very much, you can say you're in pain, but you may not be. You might be in a lot of pain, you don't feel it. It's very much about the individual. But blood pressure, well, that is a measurable outcome. So research indicates that acupuncture channeled pathways mirror the nervous system pathways. And a systematic review of functional MRI scans show changes in the brain in real time during acupuncture treatment. So you can actually see the effect that acupuncture has on the brain. So acupuncture consistently activates area of the brain which stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system and reduces the effect of the sympathetic nervous system. So that's the fight or flight response. The parasympathetic nervous system is that relaxed state when everything is nice and easy and gentle. The sympathetic nervous system is when you're getting ready for that fight or flight response, when the adrenaline and the cortisol is pumping through the body, shutting down the immune system, shutting down the reproductive system, shutting down the digestive system, getting ready for a fight or a run. Well, acupuncture actually counters the effect of that. Acupuncture also stimulates the release of pain-killing neuropeptides, those natural drugs that the brain creates within the body, natural hormones to help ease pain. Acupuncture stimulates the release of those. Now, there is a drug called naloxone, and naloxone prevents the effects of morphine. It also blocks the effects of acupuncture, indicating there is a link between how acupuncture works and how morphine works. So needle therapy has also been shown to help increase sensitivity to morphine, resulting in the potential to reduce the amount of opioid medication required to treat pain. So acupuncture helps in that way also. Going into the actual mechanisms of acupuncture, we work on the connective tissues. So when an acupuncture needle is inserted into the connective tissue, it stimulates the fibroblasts. Fibroblasts are particular cells that maintain the structural integrity of the connective tissue, and they play a crucial role in wound healing. So think of it like the needle is inserted, and as we stimulate it, it has an effect on pulling and stretching the fibroblast cell. And these cells are the most common connective tissue cells in animals. And the acupuncture, because of the stimulation, it has an effect on stimulating that cell. So it helps with the structural integrity, and it helps with wound healing. So what we can say based on that is acupuncture stimulates the body to release its own natural painkillers. It also stimulates the release of molecules associated with tissue healing and disease resolution. So that's a little bit about the scientific evidence and scientific research and the scientific mechanisms of how acupuncture works. Now, there's far more to it from a Chinese medicine perspective. A lot of theory which simply right now hasn't been researched, and it's just so many thousands of years of empirical evidence and empirical theories that have combined to create the wonder of Chinese medicine, for which acupuncture is one part. And this is just some of our recent research to give us a bit of an indication of how it works, why it works, and that it works from a Western scientific perspective. And so a lot of the information that I have here today is thanks to the Acupuncture Now Foundation, so I want to give a big thanks to those guys. Big thanks to John MacDonald and Stephen Jantz, and also to Mel Hopper-Koppelman for putting a lot of this information together for us. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today.